It's possible we may be live. It is possible we may be live. I think I left the iron on. Anyway, what's going on, people? What's going on? Um, Sorry about that. I'm in another world. I'm in another world right now. Doing my YouTube thing. Hello, Egyptian Gamer Geek. Egyptian Gamer Geek. Appreciate you for being here. Hopefully you can hear me. Um, Thumbs up to you. Appreciate the people for coming through. Hopefully you can hear me. Four people here. Um, I don't know. I had this idea. Hopefully you can hear me. You can hear me. Thank you. I had this idea. Um, I see myself live on my phone. So sorry about that. You probably heard that. Anyway, thank you for the five people that are here. What's up, Road King? Egyptian Gaming Geek. This is something that's simple. Thank you. Appreciate you, my world in OKC. Thank you for all coming through. We get into the end of the year. And as we get into the end of the year, I'm thinking about this idea that I had. This is for people, who I guess have problems saving money. I was thinking about starting like a savings club, maybe do some videos or inviting people that have problems saving money, just to, get like a little jar or something. I don't know. I mean, something you can put money in. I don't know. Maybe something bigger than this. And having a chart, just trying to actually get people into the habit of saving money that really think they can't save money. So I was thinking about that because, like I said, people need to think about their financial future or just putting together something like that. So thank you for coming back, Egyptian Gaming Geek. So, like I said, I had this idea, to go from the first week of January, 1920, of 2019, all the way to the last week, which would be basically around this time next year, and see what happens. I mean, of course, I would say, a certain amount of money each month, like I said, each week, just tell people to save up, not to give to anybody or anything like that, but just to, have something for an emergency for themselves. Maybe you want to take the money and you want to invest it in something that means something to you. But like I said, I'm not the one asking for any money. So I'm thinking about doing a thing myself, joining in as well, and just starting like a jar or having like a chart to do some edit videos and stuff like that, and actually get people into just the habit of saving their money for a rainy day. You may need it for emergencies. You may need it to invest. You may want it for your children. You may want it to buy gifts for next year's Christmas fund. You may want it for medical bills, whatever the case may be. But just to get people into the habit of putting money aside for a rainy day. And like I said, that's just an idea I had. I've been throwing around in my brain for a little bit of while, and it may not be for everybody. Some people may figure, hey, look, I can't save money, or I don't know how to put money to the side. But I thought if I did it every week and I put it on YouTube, or, I did something small and showed people how it was done, maybe, it would be something that people would be interested in. So the reason I'm doing this video right now is just to say, my idea is to start like a savers club, and not something where people actually are giving money to anybody or, sending money away to anybody for whatever reason. But, just because folks are not really in the habit of saving. As far as the bank accounts of an average American, you would be surprised. It's under $1,000 for the average American. The average American doesn't have $1,000 in their savings account. The average American, is not able to buy something a lot of times without having to go into a certain amount of debt. So my thing was like, okay, financially, where did you do? Where do you start? In order to learn how to level up, sometimes you have to learn how to save and budget and put money to the side. So my idea was to say, okay, what if I, took a jar, whatever size jar it is, and said, okay, this is the amount of money that we're going to save, or I'm going to save, for the end of the year. And I'm thinking about doing it the first week of January and inviting anybody that wants to come along. If you want to do it for fun, if you want to do it, just to, get into the habit, then it's something you could join along with. It's not something where I'm asking anybody to, give anything, if anything, give something to yourself. And I'm looking to do it. I don't know, maybe you think it's something worthwhile. Maybe you may say, hey, you know what, screw him, I don't want to get into it. but that's not the case. So my thing is just, you know, I don't know. It's just something I've been putting off because I've done it myself. I've saved money, of course. I've actually put money to the side. I've actually done some things. And I think a lot of people are lacking financial literacy. A lot of people may not understand how easy it is to put money aside and actually, kind of grow your wealth or try to put money together and actually do something with what you have, even if it's a small sum of money. Because what I'm saying is just being able to get to the point where you could just save a couple of $100 a year to a couple of $100 becoming a couple of $1,000. A couple of $1,000 become 10,000 and 20,000 and stuff like that. Maybe this is something that's interesting to you. Maybe it's not. Like I said, it's something as simple as saying, okay, let me take a jar, a bottle. Hold on, let me show you what I'm talking about because you know. Well, I do have a I do have a can, and people have left. So if you did leave, that's okay. Something simple as this: taking a quarter, dime, nickel, and just putting it in there, doing that stuff like that is something simple. I mean, I have a certain sizable amount of money in here, and I'm just telling people to get into the habit of saving. I know people were waiting to leave, so I walked away and got the got the can, but that's cool. Um, like I said, my idea is something simple. My idea is not for everybody. This live stream is not for everybody. But for those people who have trouble saving money, for those people who may think it's hard, it's simpler than you think. I gotta cut the bottom of this open in order to get the money out, but there's a sizable amount of money in here. So what I'm talking about is saving because people don't have the money for a lot of things. Thank you, Roll King, for still being here. I'm actually talking about the financial literacy part of, you know, life. People want to know some of the things that I'm into. Some of the things is I'm into is saving my money. This is just a little bit of money here that I have. You know, it's not the real other accounts that I got. Even though I'm from the projects, it's still not all my life. But being able to save money and invest your money properly will put you in a better position, economically, socially, stuff like that. Brenda G, appreciate you for coming through. But learning to save money and invest your money properly, in just small things, simple things, can lead to bigger things, real estate, cars, going on trips, understanding how to start businesses and stuff like that. But you got to start somewhere. And you know, I want people to take it seriously with their money, even if it's just, 5 cents, a nickel, a dollar, whatever the case may be. Saving money is important. Being able to budget your money and put money aside is crucial, to survival, in today's world. But not just saving money and keeping it off to the side, because this money right here that I have in here is not just going to stay in this can. Once this can is full, I take this money out and I put it in the bank. I roll it up and I got the things in the back. I don't have time to roll it tonight. But as you can hear, it's some sizable amount of money in there. And I'm not just talking about pennies. I got nickels, dimes, quarters. So one thing I had with dollars in it, but that's long gone. But the point is to have like a rainy day fund, something in case of emergency. A lot of times people, don't realize that you should have at least 6 to 7, maybe even 8 months of an emergency fund in case you lost your job or something happened to you. This may be boring to some people, and I get it. I just cashed in my pocket change collection, and it's wow. See, yeah, no, I agree with you. It takes a few years, but it works. Hey, I agree with you, Roking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with taking it. I remember I saved up like $50 in quarters one time. I spent it all, but I wish I would have kept going with it. But the thing is, what I'm saying to people is saving money is not as hard as you may think it is. Some people say, well, okay, I got bills and I got a girlfriend, I got children, I got whatever. It's it's nothing more than just taking a coin, a nickel, a dollar, whatever, and just putting it in and just saving it and saying, okay, well, I have it for a rainy day, because I have something like this in case of an emergency. Let's say I lost my wallet, or let's say, something did happen with my bank account. I have something. I mean, or if I needed money in a hurry, like I said, bank is closed or whatever. I don't know. I got something. And I tell people to take stock in your money. You know, I mean, they say you have a lot of disposable income, you know, out there when it comes to economics. But I say no income is truly ever disposable. You know, meaning that is extra throwaway income. You know, if you're frugal, if you budget, if you're smart with your money, you know, even when you're wasting money, it becomes something that's for a purpose, for a cause. If you put something to the side and say, okay, I allocate this because this is the ice cream fund, you know, then let it be the ice cream fund. The reason I take the time out to say all this is because too many people are in situations where they don't try to do anything with their money. You know, where they say, okay, well, I don't have enough and I'll never have enough and I can never improve and I can never do anything with it. That's BS, you know, even if it's just a little bit. And there's quite a bit of change in here. I mean, I'm probably with this, I'm probably right here. I'm probably right here. I'm trying to get all the way up here, you know, with the change and all this other stuff. But it's not about that. This is about me saying that in the new year, more than likely, I'll probably start a Savers Club, and I'll put out some videos saying, well, you know, this is the bottle, this jar, I have a clear jar, something like that, and I'll put maybe, you know, a couple of dollars in there each week, and then I'll try to save up a couple of $100. And anybody who wants to go along with me and join along with me can do it and keep your money to yourself. I'm not asking you to send your money anywhere or do anything with your money that benefits me in any way. It's something that I want to try out and I want to see where it goes. I want to see what happens. You know, I want to see, you know, what the impact of it is, especially for those folks that think they have, you know, an impossibility of saving money. I mean, saving money is so easy. You know, putting your money aside and doing something smart with your money is so easy. I've opened up savings bonds. You know, I've put together CD accounts. I have retirement accounts. You know, I have all type of stuff that's going on. That's behind the scenes stuff. I don't really talk about stuff that ain't your business, but the point is, every little bit counts, and what you do with your money will determine, you know, the quality of your life. You know, how you spend your money. You know, what you spend your money on. You know, what you invest in. You know, if you don't invest in yourself, then who will? So, you know, those things happen like that. And sometimes it starts with just a simple thing. Sometimes it starts with a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a penny. You know, you never know where it can go. Like Bro King was saying, you know, $4,500 took years, but you cash that in, and who knows what that can become. So my thing is to save up money or put money aside and have something together and begin to build upon it. Yeah, invest a little in a precious metal. Yeah, there you go, Brenda G. I mean, get to a point where you could, or if you know anything about the stock market, then you could, or you know, you could do REITs, you know, real estate investments and stuff like that. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Start your own business. You know, put together a couple of $100. I've done that before. You know, even though the business was failed. You know, rest in peace, True Venture Services. You know, once upon a time, Mel owned a business. I own more than one. You know, believe it or not. You know, but what you do with your money is important. How you spend it, every penny, every nickel, every dime. You know, what you do with your money matters. Your money matters. You know, still here. Okay, Egyptian Gamer Geek. Egyptian Gamer Geek, this is for you as well. You're somebody who's 18, right? You Egyptian Gamer Geek. Being able to put together or put aside a couple of $100 a year is crucial for you at 18 because you have an advantage over all of us. You have the benefit of time. I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said one of the eighth wonders of the world is compound interest. It was either Benjamin Franklin or Einstein, one of them said, you know, the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. And as your interest compounds and you figure out how to put money together and save it for things that make sense, who knows? Maybe you could save up for a car. Maybe you could save up for a house. Maybe you could save up for retirement. Especially when you start off young. The kids, when they start off young, you know, and they save money, you know, put together $5, $10 a week, or you know, a couple of pieces of change every so often. It matters. It adds up. And what I'm going to do is make the attempt next year to actually save money, but do it in a way where I show you how simple it is. You know, especially when you don't have a whole bunch of money or you don't have a whole bunch going on. People think that you have to be rich or you have to have a whole bunch going on, or you have to have the greatest job to actually save money and accumulate wealth and invest it properly and put it in slow investments or whatever the case may be. You know, you could put it in something that may take you a while to make some money, but the thing is at least you put something to the side. Maybe you got grandchildren, maybe you got children out there, maybe you got somebody out there, you know, who can benefit, from you actually putting a piece of change to the side. Maybe you could get some savings bonds. Maybe you could get some certificates of deposits, which I have. I have both. I have savings bonds and certificates of deposits. So let's say I had children, or I want to give something to my niece or my nephew, I could, have a retirement account, which I have a retirement account. I have two. So those are something you could do. Or life insurance. You never know what the life insurance is going to be worth. So there's different ways to look at, investing and putting together money and saving up and having something to the side. You don't have to always throw it in the bank as well. Like I said, you can look into treasuries. There's so many things that people can do with their money, which would help them. Just in case of an emergency. Because let's say your medical coverage isn't the best. Let's say your spouse or something gets sick, or the medical costs eat up. You don't know what's going to happen. You really don't. And I'm not saying this is doom and gloom and stuff like that, but you have something just in case of an emergency. And like I said, this is not for everybody. This live stream is not for everybody, but this is real talk. This is serious. Like, look, New Year's coming around. I tell people, start thinking about what you're doing with your money, how you're putting your money together. Like I said, I was doing this not too long ago, and I'm just putting money together, and I'm not making this up. Like I said, I'm not making this up. I'm just really looking at it and saying, you know what? It's possible to show people what I'm talking about. And who knows, maybe we could, do some great things. Maybe I could just, go further to the next step. Like I want to go into what do you do when you actually have a couple of $100 in your pocket? Do you just take it and keep saving? You could do that, or you could start looking into what the next step is. One of my steps would be, if I had a couple of $100 in my pocket, spare money, extra money that I don't need, I start looking into savings bonds. I start looking into certificates of deposits. I start looking into other things that I can do with my money that's going to increase my money, even if it's slow growth. Some slow growth is better than no growth. That's how I feel about that. Other folks that say you're a low yield loser, that's their business. But it's better to have, what was the saying go? It's better to have a bird in the hand than two in the bush. So, I'd rather have a bird in the hand. I'd rather have money in hand growing slowly than, to say, okay, well, there's something over there that's not really growing as fast, or is a possibility, is the potential. So that's just where I'm coming from. And like I said, in the new year, I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you want to join along, you could or not. That's up to you. That's your business. But I just want to show people how easy it is to save money. And that's something that I'm going to make the attempt to do in the new year. What's going on, Yas Poet? I appreciate you for coming through. Like I said, this is something about saving money, putting the best of it to the side. You, you put your bird in your hand, I'll leave it. Nah, Roki, that's the wrong type of bird. That's the wrong type of bird. I'm not putting any bird in the hand. You know what I mean. Metaphorically, the bird in the hand, meaning money, or like the Chinese used to say, say the fast nickel is better than a slow dollar. But was it fast nickel is better than a slow dollar? I don't know. Anyway, I'm reaching with that one. Like I said, either way, what you do with your money is important. And I'm just trying to stress to the folks that care, to the people that will listen. I want to show people how easy it is, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much money you don't have, to put something aside and start actually building something that makes sense. And that's something that I want to attempt to do. Leave the bush alone too, bro. That's funny, Brenda G. Yeah, well, I'll leave the bird and the bushes alone. Well, I'll leave the bush alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna leave that. We're gonna depart from that thought that could go different ways, innuendos. Anyway, that was funny to the both of you, Ro King and Brenda G. But back to what I was saying, the matter at hand. Um, this is just to encourage folks, stick to that, take care for now. There you go. There you go. Definitely make it a point, especially as close as this is. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I mean, that's something to talk about. But I tell people, be mindful about how you put your money together. Be mindful of what you can do. If you actually start to take a piece of your change and start putting it to the side. If you take a couple of dollars and you just start putting it in thing. And I'll have a chart and stuff like that and tell folks, okay, how much I'm trying to save and all this other stuff and what you could do with it, because ultimately what I want to do is just put together a couple of $100 and then say, okay, once you get to a certain point, what do you do with this money? Some people would just spend it. Some people would take it and actually invest it into something else. There's so many different things you can do with your money once you begin to see it from just a standpoint of, from more than just a standpoint of a consumer, more than just a standpoint of somebody who has disposable income, as the economists would say. When you start to look at your money as something that you can invest, even if it's in something that's a secure, investment vehicle or savings vehicle, whatever the case. And then you start to say, okay, once you do get into the 10,000s, what do you do with that? Once you do start to get into 15 and 20,000, do you, get a house? Do you go to the stock market? What do you do? There's different options and choices that people have. And I stress financial literacy. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny. I don't care whether you're rich, whether you're poor. Financial literacy is important because it's your money. You know what I'm saying? It's what you have the ability to do with. It's what you allow yourself to learn. You could get cheated out of your money. It's easy to get cheated out of your money. I mean, I could cut the thing off and say, what, go ahead and do what you want to do. Have a happy new year. But I think you get the point of what I'm trying to say, because I don't want to start talking in circles. I don't want to start repeating myself. I think it's important for folks that may think that they can't save anything to begin to look at it differently. And hopefully, in this next year, I can begin to get you to look at it differently, about saving money and what you can do with a little bit. Because a little bit can become a lot real quick. People don't realize that. Even over time, like I said, they said Rome wasn't built in a day. Even the bush didn't come in a day. Some people may say it did, but anyway, that's another story. Yeah. Moms, if you're watching, just skip over that part. I can name one word: entrepreneurship. Yes, entrepreneurship is that. But what I want to stress, Yas Poet, is even before you get to entrepreneurship, is what you do with your money. I mean, learn how to manage your money first before anybody gets into starting a business or, what you're going to invest in. The question is, can you put money to the side? Can you begin to allocate and budget capital for you to do different things? Let's say you want to go on a trip next year. How do you go on a trip next year if you can't actually begin to put money aside today? What if you want to, go get an operation? Or what if you want to start saving for your kid's college fund or your grandchild's college fund? How can you do that if you're not able to put money aside and be realistic about your spending habits? And a lot of people are not. It's like my mother always used to say, don't live beyond your means. And there's a lot of people that's living beyond their means. And it's kind of funny when you actually start putting money aside and start using money and saving it and doing proper things with it and becoming financially literate. You begin to see that, oh wow, there's some things that I may have missed. Like with me, I don't know it all. I've made many mistakes. I've blown a lot of money. Times blown $10,000, didn't even know where it went. But that's what happens. Things happen. I've been in over $30,000 debt. Yeah. Thank you for still being here. Thank you for the people that are still here. But I'm not gonna keep you too long. I think this is the end of it. You get it. And all that's left to really do is just to show you what I'm talking about and how simple it is. So very soon, stay tuned. I'll show you how simple it is to save money. I'll show you how simple it is to put it together and make it, useful to you within the same year. Even if it's just a couple of $100, even if you just go and you get a what you call it, a certificate of deposit. One of my favorite vehicles to put money in, a certificate of deposit, and not a long-term one. I do 3-month certificate of deposits at a certain amount of money. I'm with Ally Bank. I'm with them. I have certificates of deposit with them, and maybe I could even go with other banks. And then there's savings bonds if you want to do something like that. And then once you grow your money to a certain level, you can put it into treasuries. You know, there's different year treasuries, but that's a conversation for another time. But the point is, there's different options once you start to learn how to put your money and save your money. You can save it for different things. Like I said, you can save it for, cost of living expenses. You could have something for medical expenses. You can have something for, just vacation funds. There's different things that you could do. And I think saving money effectively is a lost art, because we're in a consumer-driven society where people, are constantly, led to believe that as soon as you get some money in the hand, it needs to go out into the bush, but that's that. And I don't know what else to say, but I'm tired. I think it was Will Smith who said, "Treat every dollar like 50 cents." Yeah, you could do that, Yas Poet. But the point I would say to add to that is that every cent matters, every dollar matters, every penny matters. It all matters, because it all adds up, depending on what you do with it, And I tell people to be smart and frugal, and even if you have money, be mindful of the different ways that you spend your money. Just because you have money doesn't mean you always have money. Just because you're good at spending it a certain way now doesn't mean that you can't get careless and reckless and lose it all. So that's one of those things. Like one of my favorite movies is Trading Places. Where they're making a bet on people's lives. Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd's life, and they bet $1 over it, and the people who wind up betting money on whether or not they'll succeed in certain wells wind up broke in the end too. So you know, just food for thought. Like I said, it's just food for thought. And on that note, I say thank you for watching. Also, too, I stress that this live stream may or may not be for you, which is cool, but it's all good. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. I'm out. I think I killed that one. Miss you already. Miss you too, Red Road King.